This is another edition of our program, part 2. God doesn't provide for all. The last edition, we discussed that it is not possible for God to provide for all, that we are all His children, but God does not provide for everyone. And then we mentioned some reason. Here we go again. God doesn't provide for all. Yes, you heard me right. That this our God does not provide for everyone. Really, it is He is our Father, but does not. He only provides for those that believe in Him. Yes, you've heard me right. Many believers today are struggling, praying for provisions, no provision, fasting for breakthrough, seated on the mountain, in churches, at home, marathon, praying, fasting, nothing happened, yet still living in lack. Why? Today you will know. Come closer. Call on someone. Share this program with them. You'll be working, you'll be trying to meet ends need, and nothing is working for you at the moment. You need to listen to me. Yes, not because this God is wicked. Our God is not wicked. God is not Satan. But we have principle for everything. But because you don't understand, yes, they don't understand how divine provision works. You have to understand how divine provision works. If you don't understand how divine provision works, you live in lack. Yes, the person will live in lack. You must understand how divine provision works. God's provision is not automatic, because today I am a child of God. I have declared, I have surrendered my life to God. I will need, you now see what we call it, automatic provision. No! That is not how God's provision works. It is conditional. It is what? Conditional. Say conditional. Yes, it is conditional. Come closer and listen to me properly. Yes, it is conditional. God's provision is conditional. It is not for everyone. I said it earlier. It's conditional, not for everyone. It is for those who works in His principle. See so. Those who works in God's principle. God's provision, yes, is for those who walk in His principle. Now ask yourself, are you walking in God's principle? If you don't walk in God's principle, it means you cannot what? You cannot get His provision. So that makes this 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 verse 10. I read, yes, if anyone will not walk, that is the letter, one of the letters of Paul to the Thessalonians. If anyone will not work, neither shall he eat. I mean, when you don't work, you don't have to eat. Yes, you have to suffer. That means even in God's kingdom, yes, let me give the explanation here. Even in God's kingdom, there is what? Principle attached to provision. In God's kingdom, there's principle attached to provision. Yes, principle attached to provision in God's kingdom. Now, let's look at some points. We have like 2 or 3 points here not to discuss. You call it the point 1. Provision is conditional, yes, on obedience. God's provision is conditional on obedience. Take your Bible, or you can open your Bible if you have it with you there. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 and 2. Even verse 1 to 14. Many of us, you read this when praying, when fasting, when expecting God's provision. But I will take the verse 1 and 2. But now just go to verse 2, verse 1. I'll go to verse 2. So I will omit the verse 1. But you take 1 and 2. So I read verse 2 here. All these blessings will come upon you and accompany you if you obey the Lord your God. Yes, God told the Israelites, I will do this, I will open the heavens, I will do this and this, down to verse 14. But that the condition is this. He has a condition that all this blessing above and the one I will list, or the one listed below from verse 3 to 14 are what? They are for those that accompany, will obey God. If you don't obey God, the provision will not be for you. And if you look at from verse 15 downward, you can see the cause is the opposite of the blessing from verse 3 to 14. That if you don't do this, cause be this. Don't do this, cause be this. But for you to get God's provision, you must accompany. For the God's provision to accompany you, you have to obey. It is a must, not have. It is a must. You have to obey God. So provision is not just about faith. Not because I have faith. Because I have the faith, God is going to provide for me. And what? And you are in sin. Yes, you don't have to be in sin. Not about faith alone. But it is about obedience to what God says you should do and what you must not do. Obedience open heaven. Yes, when you obey, obedience open what? Heavens, yes. And rebellion shut the door. When you are rebellious, doors for opportunity, doors of blessing will be shut. You can see that in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 downward. When you are rebellious, God's blessing is shut, will be closed against you, no matter whom you are. Point number 2, God's provide through process. God's provision is through process. Just as when you want to make pap or gari, it's through process. Your cassava cannot just turn to gari overnight. Yes, it is through process. So God's provision is through process, not in magic. Some people believe in magic. No, God is not a magician. His provision is through process. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 10. For God is the one who gives seed to the farmer and then bread to eat. In the same way, He will give you many opportunities to do good, and He will produce a great harvest of generosity in you. Can say, God gives the seed to farmer and then bread to eat. God did not give the farmer bread so that he can become lazy. But first thing, seed. And what do you have to do to seed? You have to till the soil. Do a lot of work. You plant the seed. Then what? Wet. And do everything. All the post-planting activities have to come up. Then for the seed, then God breathes or blesses the seed. And it's just a seed you've planted will turn to many. So that's what this place is explaining to us, telling us here that God, the person that gives seed to farmer, then bread to eat. The seed is given first. God has given something. Yes, He's expecting you to do something. What do you have? What do you have in your hand? What have you done? Yes, God process is not magic. God gives seed, not bread. The first thing God will give to you is seed. You want to eat. The first thing you need was job. Then God blesses that job. Not without job, eating. No. Without doing something, you want the blessing of God. No. You must do something for God to provide for you. If you don't do anything, there's never provision anywhere. God is not a magician. God don't do magic. Yes. And God's process is not magic. Yes, God gives seed, not bread first. He gives opportunity and gifts. Give you opportunity. Use your opportunity that comes in across your way. Use your gift to put something on your table. Not a lot of gifts. Many people with a lot of gifts are not using their gifts. Well, many people add or have a lot of opportunity that they have wasted it. Use all this opportunity that comes your way, or that have come your way. Use them. Use your gifts, your talents. Make use of them. Provision follows preparation. You have to prepare. Then provision follows. Without preparation, no provision. Yes, again, without preparation, no provision. Point number 3. Provision is for purpose. God does not provide without purpose. If He is giving you something, there's a purpose for it. Either to expand His kingdom, to feed your family, to care for your family, and many other things. Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 to 30. You can read it from your side. It's one of the parables of Jesus Christ about the talent. You know the story of the talent properly. This man was on his way to a far city. He called his servants, gave one 5 talents, another one 2 talents, and the last one 1 talent. The first and the second, the one that was given 5 talents, the one that was given 2 talents, traded with their talents. That means use their God-given gifts. Many of you Christians today, so-called children of God, you have gifts, you have talents that are wasting away. You can't use them. You are just lazy. And you are expecting God's provision. No. God's provision is not automatic. God's provision is for purpose. Use that talent He deposited in you for His purpose. You can see now reasons why God don't provide for all. This is what that He is a provision. He's a provider, I mean. The first 2 traded their talents. And what? Because they did what was right. And what happened? They gained 5 and 2 talents respectively. And the last place that was given just a talent, what? Dig the soil and buried. Just an example, just a typical example of many people today that have buried their talents. Because of what? Laziness. Because of what? They don't want to serve. They will tell you that this job is small, the salary, the income is small, I don't want to do it, I'm waiting for the bigger one. No. You must be trusted with little before larger amount, larger will be given to you. You cannot become the MD or manager of a company overnight without passing through a lot of processes. Yes. So don't be lazy. God's provision is what? For purpose. God doesn't fund laziness. If you are lazy, God will not fund you. Yes. God will keep distance from you. God funds hard-working people. He provides for those who work with purpose. Yes, those that work with purpose. God's provision is full. God's provision is for His mission, not vanity. God has a mission. Yes, for that talent He deposited in you. For that gift He gave to you. He has a mission, not for vanity. Not for you to waste His gift, His talent that He had deposited in you. Now, God does not provide for everyone. He provides for the obedient. Are you obedient to God's instruction? The diligent, the hardworking, not the lazy type. The purposeful. Are you purposeful? And the faithful. Faithful. Are you faithful in all what you do? Are you faithful? Psalm 37 verse 25 confirms that the righteous are never forsaken. I'll read. Once I was young, and now I am old, yet I have never seen the godly forsaken. You can see now, the godly forsaken, nor seen the children begging for bread. That song we all used to sing when I was younger. For me to sing the way I think me, I no go suffer, I no go beg for bread. God of miracle, na my papa, is my provider. Now, good. If you don't want to suffer, work. If you don't want to suffer, yes, be obedient. If you don't want to suffer, be diligent. If you don't want to suffer, be purposeful. If you want to suffer, be faithful. Psalm 37 verse 25 confirms that the righteous are never forsaken. You don't want to be forsaken. You have to be purposeful. You have to have faith. You must know what you are doing. You have to obey God's command that you should work. Don't be lazy. You need God's provision. It is good. Everybody wants his provision. If you don't want to suffer, if you want to cry, yes. If you don't want to be slave or serve others, you need to serve people, but you don't want to be begging for food, begging for this and that. As children of God, you have to do the needful. Yes, you have to do the needful by being obedient to your Creator. Obey his command that you should walk. Now, ask yourself, whoever you may be at the moment, am I obeying his principle? Yes, ask yourself, am I obeying his principle, like God's principle? Am I faithful? Are you faithful with the seed he gave you? Yes, with the seed God gave me, am I faithful? So what are the seed? Your talents, your gifts, that job God gave you. You have to be faithful. And how do we be faithful? Look at those things. Check those things God asks you to do with those gifts, those talents, that job, that's your proceed you have from that job. When last you fund his ministry? When last you pay your tithe? When last you pay your offering? When last you remember the less privileged? When last you give to the less privileged? When last you give to God's servants? Yes. When last you do his will? It is important. It is necessary. When last? Yes. Are you faithful with the seed God planted in you? Stop wasting for provision. Stop waiting for provision. Yes. Don't wait for automatic provision where there's no provision. Don't wait for any provision which you've not worked for. Position yourself for it. You have to position yourself for God's provision. You have to stay somewhere and start waiting. Move. Be on your toe. Position yourself for God's provision. Pray for alignment with his word. You have to pray for alignment with his word. It is then this will come into existence. This provision, divine provision you have been waiting for, will come to fulfillment in your life. If this message blessed you, like, share, subscribe for more life transforming messages. Remember, God does not provide for all. He provides for those who obey his words. Again, God doesn't provide for all. He provides for those who obey his commandments.